Hello and welcome on Watches TV, and a few weeks ago we had shown you 3 timepieces participating at this year's edition of Only Watch, the charitable auction taking place in Geneva on the 6th of November and hosted by Christie's, an auction which has become a must for many brands as it gives them a very positive visibility for a good cause, well in this case raising funds to fight the Duchenne dystrophy disease. But the other day I had the chance of going to Monaco for the official launch event where all the watchers were finally united, and just a few days prior to this, where we could film almost all the participating watches in slightly better conditions. Reason why we are bringing you today a recap on all these fine timepieces. And yes, was mighty nice to be in Monte Carlo during the International Yacht Show and see all these crazy vessels making you relativize on the price of some watches, as we are talking hundreds of millions for some of these boats. I mean, it's simply another world, which has become the ultimate marker when you have a lot of money. Yes, a jet is not enough, you need a floating palace to make your point. Anyhow, let's get back to these watches in no particular order, and let's start with an original take by Girard-Perregaux, who reissued a 1970s watch of theirs with the casquette. And though GP is a 230-year-old company, well, in the 70s and in the midst of the quartz crisis, well, they tried things, and I have to say that I've always liked the casquette, meaning the cap in French. A digital quartz watch, but this time reinterpreted by the Bamford Watch Department, the London-based customizer, with this carbon case. Cool and different watch for sure, but let's now talk only about mechanical pieces and only this. And let's start with the Acrivia Chronomètre 2, the RRCC2, and we couldn't film it prior to this Monaco launch, same about some other watches I'll go over on later, but I can tell you that it drew a lot of attention for multiple reasons. So after the first series of Recep Chronomètre Contemporain launched a few years back, which encountered a large success among collectors, well, the guys from Acrivia have been working on this new model for quite some time, and the model presented at this year's Only Watch auction is actually the very first production model of this new series, and I can already tell you that it might be difficult for you to get your hands on any of these new watches, as they have already been all reserved. So this means that this particular model will most certainly fetch a rather high price tag, as it's almost your only possibility to get one, and what a special one. So I loved everything about it, the movement architecture, this really special dial using this gratté technique onto which a thin champagne translucent enamel Grand Feu layer has been placed on. And the amazing level of finishing, of course, and not to mention the special platinum case made by legendary casemaker Jean-Pierre Hagman. So yes, this piece was definitely well scrutinized by some pretty knowledgeable people, and I'm sure it will be part of the high bidders club. Okay, next watch with the Crayon Anywhere, a really fantastic piece of mechanical marvel with its sunrise and sunset time indication, which is always correct depending on the date. And if you want to know more about the particularities of this timepiece, well, I clearly invite you to see a report we had done at the time, because it's really just fascinating. But coming back to this Only Watch version, well, a lot has been put on the dial with this fine mosaic inspired by the French Impressionist painter Claude Monet. Really beautiful, and the attention to details has been pushed really far. And just wanted to note that for a brand not producing that many watches per year, well, to donate one of for the auction is quite a statement, and I hope it will reach a good price. I mean, it totally deserves it. Alright, next watch with the Laurent Ferrier Classic Origine Hope. It uses the latest three-hand manual wound movement of the brand, decorated with a modern twist, and is encased for the very first time in a 40mm steel case. Obviously, what stands out is this light green color, a bit on the pistachio side, which makes this timepiece really fresh, but it remains elegant at the same time. Really nice, pure and efficient design. Personally, I liked it a lot. Okay, next timepiece, and definitely the cutest one of the auction, with the MB&F special reinterpretation of the HM9 Bulldog, which has now transformed itself into this adorable little panda. So something unique about the case is that it's made of steel onto which a shiny white and black lacquer has been applied, and two small titanium ears have been added on the domed sapphire glass as well as a small tail. So I find this watch refreshing, bringing a bit of sweetness, and for the person that will win this lot, well, you will most definitely have a lot of smiles around you when you will be wearing it. Okay, next one with Jacques Hédreau and the Grande Seconde Scolette 1 Tourbillon. And here the main originality is found with this rather surprising and really beautiful dial made from different shaped and tinted plique-à-jour enamel parts, held in place by these gold beams going through the dial. And what I particularly like is the subtle asymmetry of the whole thing. It gives more depth, makes it a bit more interesting. Really nice job. All right, next watch with the prototype version of the Richard Mille RM67-02, the Charles Leclerc model, the Formula One Ferrari driver who is from Monaco, thus the white and red colors in honor of the Principauté found on the watch. Well, as you can expect, this timepiece is super light and is equipped with a skeletonized automatic movement, and you will only find an hour and minute marker on the dial side. No seconds there, just stick to the very basics. And I quite like this minimalist approach regarding time tracking. Okay, next with one of the most big lots for sure with the Patek Philippe complicated desk clock, and the name says it all. So personally, I really like that Patek came with a table clock. It's different, and I doubt anybody expected them to go down that route for this edition after the incredible success reached last time with the unique steel Grand Master chime, which holds the price record of any type of timepiece, having reached a staggering $31 million. Yes, that was quite insane. So I doubt we will see this again with this particular lot, but it's an interesting statement made by Patek, and I appreciate that it places forward another type of mechanical watchmaking, and hopefully it will contribute to the appeal that those type of timepieces have. So for instance, this year we've seen other table clocks being acknowledged by the GPHG in the mechanical exception category, and I really feel that they deserve to be appreciated too. But coming back on this special lot, it holds a new caliber, the 86/135 Bend IRM QSE, yeah, that's also quite complicated, and features a perpetual calendar, a moon phase, and a week number indicator, and has 31 days of power reserve. In terms of style, well, let's say that it needs to fit some kind of a special interior decoration, as it looks very classical. I mean, naturally extremely well made and refined, but then it's a question of personal taste, and I'm pretty certain it will reach a hefty price tag. But the big question is how much, and to what extent can the Patek name play in this final result? Will be very interesting to follow and how it can be interpreted. Okay, next one, and again a special table clock with the Ulysse Nardin and its stunning UFO introduced earlier this year, a clock made in cooperation with L'Epée, but this time coming in the emblematic orange color of the auction. I find this piece of machine truly extraordinary, and I simply love to look at this huge and slow beating balance wheel floating on top of it. And just for info, it beats at 0.5 Hertz. That's only 3,600 oscillations per hour, and that's definitely not something you will see that often. And with such a slow beat, well, this clock holds 1 year of power reserve. Isn't that quite crazy? Okay, next timepiece, and we don't have great images of it, but boy, if that's such a super hot lot, as De Bethune and Kari Voutilainen joined forces and developed something absolutely amazing, and one that will get collectors quite crazy too, I'm pretty sure about that. So they took the base of the De Bethune kind of two tourbillon and its super original side flipping aspect, and on one side you are in the world of De Bethune and its unique design codes, and on the other side, well, you have a typical design Voutilainen dial, but naturally the trick doesn't stop there, and one of the main mechanical particularities is that you will find a different way of reading time. Okay, I mean, when we could film it, unfortunately the watch had some issues that it just came out of the manufacture and needed some additional fixing. But the general idea is that the hour hand is classical, pointing at the hour index as usual, 9 o'clock being at 9 o'clock. But then regarding the minutes, and that's where it becomes tricky, because you can't refer to the position of the minute hand to know the time, as you have an outer minute ring that moves, and you have to read the minutes minutes on that disc where the hand is pointing to. And the real trick is that on the passage of the hour, well, this minute hand will be found on top of the hour hand, and the minute disc will indicate 00 position. So I hope you got me. I know it can be slightly confusing, and to make it as clear as possible, let's say it's 3 o'clock. Well, in that case, the hour hand points at 3, normal, but the minute hand will stand above it, and the minute disc will indicate 00 at 3:15. And then it continues. So I really hope you understood something I just said, and yes, this watch also holds a large central deadbeat second hand. Well, quite something for sure, and I believe this one will also fetch a pretty high price tag, again, totally deserved. So for the rest of the watches that we managed to film, like I said, we unfortunately couldn't film them all, but we will now present you a kind of medley of what we could do. And for those who maybe hadn't seen it, well, we had produced, like I said, the first report on 3 other participating timepieces with the super mega original FP Journe and its unique time display, with the hand automaton. We had also talked about the H. Moser Streamliner cylindrical tourbillon, a real condensed version of H. Moser's know-how. I mean, you have a bit of everything of H. Moser in this one. And we had also talked about the really smart and minimalist Urwerk, coming back to the roots of the brand with the UR 102 Gaia. So enjoy this compilation, and as a reminder, the auction will take place in Geneva on the 6th of November, and this has become such an event that it will no longer be held at the Four Seasons Hotel, but directly in the large convention center of Palexpo, and I really can't wait to attend. I think we will be in again for some spectacular action, as there has never been as many brands participating at this event, a total of 53 brands in total. So thanks to them to make it all possible. Thanks for watching, and viva happy watchmaking to all of you. Here we go.